last 2 months were some of the toughest time for the businesses. Big companies, massive companies who had been around for 50 years, 20 years, who had the legacy of 30, 40 years, they hadn't made any sales. Some of the companies had to let go staff because the new revenue hasn't come in. So people, entrepreneurs, business owners, even sales manager and sales leader who were secretly looking down upon sales professionals, who had secretly demonizing people who were in sales and marketing, now they understand that if they haven't got new revenue coming in, they wouldn't have the cash flow to invest in marketing. They wouldn't have the cash flow to hire new staff or expanding their operations. So sales is like an oxygen. In this video, I want to talk to you about how you can get the best out of your sales team, because it's important. So number one, you want to be a sales leader. You want to be a person people want to follow. Not because you are giving them a salary, you are the boss, you are the owner of the business. People want to follow you because they know that if they follow you, if they do what you ask them to do, then you are going to achieve your personal and professional goal as well. Now, sometimes people think that being a great sales leader is all about being a motivational speaker, right? Sometimes they think that they have to be an inspirational speaker. Yes, that might be right, but motivation and inspiration is a short-term enthusiasm. Eventually, it's going to wear out, right? It's like taking a shower. Like, it doesn't matter if you had 2 hours of shower this morning, you still require another shower tomorrow. Same way, motivation is not going to last. Inspiration is not going to last. Not everyone is in the business of curing cancer, right? You might be excited about changing the world as a business. You really want to make a difference in your community, in your marketplace. But eventually, people who are following you are going to ask themselves a question. Yes, we are excited about the vision. We are excited about the company's vision and the direction the company is moving. But what's in it for us? They know that if they're going to follow you, they're going to achieve their personal goals. You have to have a higher moral authority. That means that people who's working with you, people in your industry and in your field knows your work ethics. They're aware about your past success. They're aware about your character. You are in the trenches with them. You are not running your company or your sales team by sitting in your big office. So if they see someone really struggling, instead of bashing them, they just pull them aside and say, hey, what you did on the phone was really good, but I think you are struggling in the middle. You are not able to qualify the client within the 10 seconds. So let me show you how it is done. People are going to stop listening to you if they know that you are just talking a big game. Your talk is not matching up with your ambition, right? If you've never done those sales calls yourself, they're not going to listen to you. They're probably not going to barge into your office and say that, okay, you haven't got any experience in sales, so you need to stop giving the advices, because they do not want to get fired. Now, if you're a business owner, be a business owner, but then you have to put someone in the position. You gotta hire someone as a sales leader who has some solid foundation of sales, so they can coach and train other people as well. You want to be the leader that people want to follow, not because you're paying them, not because they're scared of you, not because you are their boss, because they know that if they are going to follow your instructions, they are going to achieve their personal and professional goal. Number two is you have to be good with picking people. If you're running a business, if you have a sales-driven organization, your job as an entrepreneur, as a sales leader, is to pick in the right people. You get the right people in the bus, and then you put them on the right seat, so you can actually get the best out of them. Now, when I was picking my own team, I was about 26 years of age. I did not have a lot of experience being a manager or a leader of the team, and I had other managers in my company who would always go for the most experienced people in the industry, in their field. I've seen people with 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, people I've actually learned from. They couldn't hold on to the pressure because they were too soft. They had the preconceived notion. They did not want to do things that made them successful in the first place. So we had to let them go, right? So, and the other manager did not want to go with people who did not have any experience because they didn't like the idea to coach and train them, holding their hand throughout the process. But when I got an opportunity to build my own team, I picked up people who had no experience in the marketing, who had no experience in the sales, but they had hunger and drive. They were coachable and they were ambitious. I had this guy who was 18 years of age, fresh out of the high school, decided to make a conscious choice that he's not going to pursue the college degree, and instead he's going to start making money. And he had no money in his bank account. The previous job was he was working as a gardener, sometimes making $10 an hour, sometimes making $15 an hour. But he was hungry. He wanted to change his life desperately. I sat him down. I told him, if you really want to make a lot of money so you can help your family out, so you can maintain a certain kind of lifestyle, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to teach you everything I know about sales. I will teach you everything I know about marketing. But then I need your 120% commitment into this. This is not a 9-to-5 job. This is not a 9-to-8 job. You have to be on 24/7 until you have some kind of experience under your belt. And that guy become my most profitable person in the team. I would tell the people I was about to hire is, if you're only here for a base salary, for a safety, you're not going to be in my team in the next 6 months, because you only care about your base salary, right? And if you only care about base salary, you're not making any sales. That means that business is not making any money, and business is not making money, then we're gonna have to let you go. This is not a charity. As I said in the beginning, that you could be the nicest person in the room, but if you don't know how to make a sale, you cannot survive in high pressure sales environment. So it is extremely important whom you are picking. If you are picking someone who doesn't want to put in the hard work, who doesn't have the work ethics, you're only hiring them because of their massive work experience, because of the school they went through. But if you're not gonna hire someone who's ambitious, who's hungry, who's got something to prove to someone, then they're not gonna take the steps that are required for them to achieve their goals and targets. So it is extremely important that you build the army of people who's going to get you the results. It is not about how many years of experiences they have, right? It's about their heart, their hunger. I would always take someone who's got an empty pocket, hungry stomach, and something to prove to someone, over someone who's got a lot of years of experience, because as I strongly believe that experience comes with a lot of ego, a lot of pride. They don't want to get their hands dirty anymore, right? So again, if you want to get the best out of your sales team, you gotta get the right people in your team. You gotta get the winners, people with a winning mentality in your team, and then they're gonna go extra yard, extra mile, so you can achieve your goals and targets. Sometimes if you get the right people in your team, they're gonna work extra hard because they do not want to let you down. Now, number 3 is you really gotta understand what really drives people, right? If you're gonna talk a 21-year-old guy about a retirement planning, you're not going to get his attention. You need to understand that what really drives people. When I got into sales and marketing, it was purely out of survival. I stumbled into sales and marketing. I knew, and my first job in sales and marketing was commission driven. So that means if I don't make any sale, I don't make any money, right? And I was extremely excited to doing something in sales and marketing, because I come from a sales and marketing background, right? So it was purely out of survival, by the way. I didn't care about how many hours I was going to have to put to get to that minimum level of income. I was just excited that I'm doing something I'm extremely passionate about, and I'll be able to support myself without taking any financial assistance from anyone, right? And once I have a bit of an experience in the game, then it becomes about the status, right? So you need to know your audience. You need to ask your people the right questions. What really drives them? What is their buy? Every time I'm having this meeting with my people, my clients, I ask them how much money you want to make out of this, right? And so, because they know that I'm expecting this ballistic, this gigantic number, they sometimes they say they want to make $1 million in revenue. Sometimes people say they want to make $3 million in revenue. Sometimes people say they want to make $150,000 a year. But they say this random number because they think that this is what I expect out of them. The moment I ask them about why they really want to do it, if they haven't got a strong why, they're not going to take any actions. That motivation is not going to last for more than 3 months or 4 months. And the moment things are going to get tough, because their why is not strong enough, they're going to quit, right? So you got to sit one-on-one with your team members and need to ask the tough question. If someone says they want to make $150,000 a year, you need to ask why. Sometimes people want to make money so they can support themselves and their family. Sometimes they want to buy a home for the family. Sometimes they want to work extra hard so they can support themselves for the retirement, right? But again, money doesn't motivate everyone. We have people. I had this guy in my team. He was 25 years of age at the time when I hired him, and he was only driven. He didn't care about how much money he's making. He purely driven by the competition. He wanted to beat everyone in the room. He wanted to be the top performer every single month. He wanted to win every monthly sales competition every single month. So he put in 120% every single day. He would make more calls than anyone else. So you need to know what really drives that person. If I would just talk about the money, that wouldn't motivate. I wouldn't have his attention. And if I don't have his attention, he's not going to take the steps that are required to get the sales, right? Sometimes people work extra hard to prove others wrong, right? Sometimes they had parents consistently, constantly telling them they're never going to achieve anything substantial. They want to prove their parents wrong. They want to prove their spouse wrong. They want to prove the friends who consistently made fun of their dreams wrong. So they're gonna work extra hard. They're gonna give you 120%. They're gonna put their heart and soul on the table, and they're gonna make those calls, right? So you gotta know what really motivates them. And once you find out what motivates people, then you're gonna tie it down to the commission structure that you have, and you're gonna have to make the commission structure stupidly simple. And number 4, last but not the least, is you're going to have to give them actionable, digestible steps. Now, if you're going to motivate and inspire people, right, but they haven't got a structure, they don't know what steps they need to take in order to achieve their income level, then again, they're going to be overwhelmed, they're going to be confused. And when someone is overwhelmed and confused, the first thing they want to do is they want to stop everything they're doing, right, and take a break. So you need to, if the moment you find out this is what they really want to earn, then you have to reverse engineer them for them. You have to make it stupidly simple. If you want to achieve this kind of money, then you have to have this many numbers of sales. To have these many numbers of sales, you have to have this many presentations every single month. And for these many presentations, you have to have certain appointments. And to have certain appointments on a regular basis, you have to make 150 or 200 calls every single day, right? You have to give them actionable steps which they can follow without stressing about the logistics of it, right? And that's the 4 things that you need to keep in mind. Number 1, again, is you have to have a moral authority. Number 2, you got to pick the right people. You got to get the right people in the bus, and then you're going to have to put them on the right seat. Number 3, you need to know what really drives people. Once you find out what drives your people, you need to attach that with your commission structure. And then number 4 is you have to give them actionable strategies, tactics that they can follow on a regular basis to achieve their goals, to achieve their targets.